So, a restaurant executive was arrested by an Illinois State Police trooper for DUI. Well, we know he wasn't DUI, but that's nothing new. Cops are arresting everyone for DUI when they haven't been drinking. So, that's not the surprising part. What happened afterwards is what's in question.
Told you last night, hundreds of drivers have been arrested for DUI by the state's top cop, a moniker given to the member of law enforcement who's made the most DUI arrests in the state. But in court records, attorneys have accused the top cop of fabricating evidence and violating drivers' civil rights. Drivers like Sherrard Holland.
Doing a favor for a friend of mine.
As the sun rose on the morning of June 2nd, 2024, local restaurant executive Sherrard Holland says he was confused when he saw the police lights.
I pulled you over because you swerved.
The son of a Chicago police officer, Holland says he was the designated driver for a coworker after working overnight when he was pulled over by Illinois State Police Trooper Kevin Bradley. After speaking with Holland, Trooper Bradley wrote in his report he could smell the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle.
We're going to relocate.
Suspecting DUI, Bradley asked Holland to continue driving down the road to a gas station.
What I find incredibly surprising is if you actually thought this guy was DUI, you tell him to continue driving while being DUI down the road, whether it be to a gas station or a different spot. As a police officer, a state trooper, or a sheriff deputy, you're supposed to stop that guy from driving right then and there. What if you tell him to drive down the road and then he crashes into someone else and kills that person because you told that driver to drive? There's nothing in me that will make me believe that this trooper thought this man was DUI. Not only that, to get a DUI arrest, if someone refuses, as we're going to see, to take field sobriety tests, you will need all of the following: odor of alcohol or marijuana, not just the odor, slurred speech, bloodshot or watery eyes, confusion or delayed responses, unsteady balance, admission of drinking, open containers, bad driving behaviors, as you can see, vomiting. The list just goes on. And he had none of that. This cop knew this guy wasn't DUI. He just wanted to arrest him anyway because he's making a quota. Not the one you may think, though.
There, Bradley accused Holland of driving drunk. When asked if he would submit to field sobriety tests, Holland calmly refused.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm ready back. For what reason? I'll be under arrest. I'm driving under the influence.
In this dashboard camera footage, you can see the trooper searching through Holland's things before his car was impounded. Later that day, when Holland needed his MacBook, he noticed it wasn't on his inventory slip. He says he assumed it must be with his car at the tow yard.
I decided to ping my MacBook, which was missing, and it pinged to an address.
Using Apple's Find My feature, Holland says his MacBook pinged at a Tinley Park home instead.
When you got to the door, what happened?
Well, I was met by him.
Him was Trooper Bradley.
He denied it and began to argue with me, and I decided to call the police.
This is a recording of that call.
I have an iMac that was stolen last night.
And what did they say when you confronted them then?
Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
My iPad. How else would I find your address?
And once I called the police, he requested that I hang the phone up.
I'll hang up.
This cell phone video picks up shortly after that 911 call, recorded by Holland's wife, who was waiting in his car.
And so as we see, we have the Illinois State Trooper walking out now holding the iPad after first denying that he ever had it. So he arrested the guy, did an inventory search, and failed to report what he saw as far as the iPad, something that he wanted, failed to put that on the search because he had plans to steal it in the first place. And then he states that he didn't have it when the guy shows up at his house, but yet comes out walking with it. But you're going to be surprised. Well, actually, you're not going to be surprised with the outcome of this story. But let me just tell you this anyway. So in Illinois, we know stealing is generally charged under the offense of theft. The seriousness of the charge depends on mainly like the value. All right, so we see under 500, it's a misdemeanor. Anything above 500 is a felony. And iPads can range up as high as $1,500. So what happened to this trooper?
You can see the trooper walk out and hand Holland his MacBook. The trooper even opens his garage door to show Holland his state police vehicle.
It was a very traumatic interaction with him.
A Tinley Park dispatcher eventually called Holland back.
Is everything okay? You're fine?
Yeah, he's a police officer. For some reason, he took my MacBook home with him.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
you probably want to speak to a supervisor over there.
That's what Holland did. He filed a complaint with the Illinois State Police, and the I-Team obtained a copy of the state's internal investigation. According to the findings, investigators determined Trooper Bradley never reported this interaction with Holland to his supervisors, nor did he make note of it in his reports. According to a transcript of an interview with internal investigators, when Bradley was asked why he took the laptop, he said he was doing Holland a favor. I kept it for his courtesy, like I said with his phone, key, and wallet.
Okay, so now we have a correction because initially it was mentioned to be an iPad. Now it's a MacBook. And a MacBook, from what I see, a Mac 13, the lowest price is $750 and it ranges up to $1,200. So that automatically makes this a felony. But just because this trooper stated, hey, I was doing this guy a favor. Yeah, I failed to report it on the inventory log. I took it home with me. And then when he showed up to my house, because I didn't know he could find me, when he showed up to my house and requested his MacBook, I initially lied and said I did not have it. Then when he called 911, I said, hey, hang up, I'll give it to you. But yeah, I was holding on to it for his good. I was doing him a favor. Let's see if they actually believe the story or not. I think you guys pretty much know what's going to happen here.
It's my mistake. I forgot to give him his stuff back, and he tracked it. The report states investigators determined Bradley had violated state police policies, and he was suspended for 1 day.
I feel disheartened by that.
And I'm outraged.
Brendan Brown is Holland's attorney.
What if he didn't have the Find My iPhone application?
After months of court hearings for the DUI charges,
The most rewarding thing for me was receiving a not guilty verdict.
a bench trial found Holland not guilty. He's now suing the state and Trooper Bradley. Bradley did not respond to the I-Team's repeated requests for comment, but in court filings, attorneys representing the state and Bradley have argued Holland's lawsuit should be dismissed, as the trooper has sovereign immunity as a member of law enforcement, and that it was a lawful traffic stop.
How many other people like Sherrod who maybe couldn't afford a lawyer, and maybe they pled guilty, or maybe they were found guilty, and perhaps their conduct didn't actually match what was alleged.
A spokesperson for the agency said ISP has strong oversight of all officers and addresses any discrepancies or complaints when they are identified.
If you're arrested for a DUI, this case is as serious as any case. It can have life-changing experiences. It's devastating. And if you're innocent, that's something that stays with you.
For every DUI arrest made, state police troopers must appear in court, and attorneys tell the I-Team that has led to a staggering amount of overtime for Trooper Bradley. In 2024, state records show Bradley nearly tripled his salary, earning nearly $250,000 in 1 year. That's more than the Illinois State Police director. A spokesperson for state police told the I-Team Bradley is currently on medical leave after suffering injuries from an accident while he was working.
So this guy makes $250,000 in a year, and he can't afford a MacBook. So he needs to arrest the guy and steal his and then lie about it. But he did receive 1 day suspension because he violated the department's policy. What about the state law? What about the violation of a state law? Not a misdemeanor. He was on felony level and he violated the law. He gets to keep his job. He's going to continue to work. And the question now becomes, how many other people have he arrested, that were not DUI? Obviously, he's arresting people whether you're DUI or you're not DUI because he gets paid for it. The state police in Illinois have to show up for court. And so if he makes an arrest, then he has to go to court. He's going to get paid for that. And that's how he's making all this money. So unfortunately for the citizens there, this is the way they're making a quota. There's no such thing as an actual quota like most people think, where a police officer has to write so many tickets in a month or, so many stops. Not like that. So if you want to know how the quota actually works, well, you just got a great example of it. They make a quota in a different way, like these Illinois police. They arrest you so they can show up for court, whether you're DUI or not, and they make more money. And then they steal your laptop. This is policing in America. Make sure you know your rights, protect yourself, and always stay safe. With that being said, we the people, you, signing off.